Hey guys, down here for Arcaderaid and welcome to a brand new video. So this video is all about the Flash. Barry Allen is the Flash, the fastest man alive. Using his super speed powers, he taps into the Speed Force and becomes a costumed crime fighter. And yeah, you'll learn more throughout the course of this video, so let's get right into it. 1. Barry Allen and a twin brother were born 2 weeks late to Henry and Nora Allen in the small Midwestern town of Fallville Lower. Barry grew up reading the adventures of his favorite superhero Jay Garrick, the original Flash, and acted many of his hero's adventures out with his friend and future actress Daphne Dean. When he was a child, his mother was killed and his father was convicted of the crime. The drive to prove his father was innocent gave Barry a strong belief in justice. 2. Barry loved chemistry from an early age, and that helped his skills as a farmer. He won first place in the Fallville Country Fair agricultural competition, a prize which included a scholarship to some university. He graduated in 3 years with a major in organic chemistry and a minor in criminology. While a senior, Barry helped the authorities apprehend a bank robber, and he was offered a job as a police scientist for the Central City Police Department Scientific Detection Bureau. Eager to be in the sister city of his childhood hero's home, Keystone City, he accepted the offer. 3. After moving to Central City and getting an apartment with a laboratory in the back, Barry began dating picture news reporter Iris West, whom he met while examining an apparent murder that she was reporting. She was charmed by his honesty and stability. That night, during an electrical storm, Barry returned to an experiment after a short break. All of a sudden, a bolt of lightning streaked through a window, shattered a chemical cabinet, and covered Barry in electrified chemicals. That's kind of what gave him superpowers. 4. Deciding to use his powers to help humanity, Barry designed a special costume. He used a special cold cast polyester he developed in college, which could be molded into miniature outfits from liquid material that, when submerged in a special liquid, became sensitive to hydrogen, expanding on contact with the hydrogen in the air. A charge from a battery-powered ring he wore on his finger caused the fabric to release the extra hydrogen and shrink into the ring. He later revised the process, making the fabric sensitive to nitrogen instead. He called himself the Flash, a tribute to his childhood idol. He briefly considered wearing a costume that would show his face like Jay had, but decided that it would be best to wear a mask to conceal his true identity. 5. Now that you know the origins of the Flash, let's get into some more cool facts. The Flash made his comic book debut in January 1940 in Flash Comics #1. The original was a research scientist named Jay Garrick, who gained these abilities by breathing in radioactive vapors. The second person, Barry Allen, was introduced in October 1956 in Showcase #4. 6. According to Secret Origins Annual #2 1998, Barry Allen turns into a lightning bolt, goes back in time, and becomes a very same lightning bolt that struck him, splashing his past self with chemicals and transforming him into the Flash. Somewhat of a paradoxical situation right here. 7. A bit of info on Barry's brother. When a drunken doctor botched the delivery of the child from the wealthy Thorne family, he stole one of Nora Allen's twins and told her that her baby was a stillborn. In actual fact, he switched the children, and the Flash's brother did not learn of his true parentage until years later. Filled with jealousy over the loving family that Barry had growing up compared to the abuse he suffered, Malcolm became cobalt blue and set out to rob his brother of his fading abilities. When the villain started a campaign to wipe out his descendants, a feud was born between the Allen and Thorne families, which would last for centuries. 8. Eobard Thawne is the second reverse Flash, Barry Allen's arch-enemy in the Silver Age of comic books. The first was Edward Clarice, a Flash rival, Jay Garrick's arch-enemy in the Golden Age. The third was Hunter Zolomon, or Zoom, Wally West's arch-enemy in the Bronze Age. The fourth was Thaddeus Thawne, aka Inertia and Kid Zoom, and Bart Allen's arch-enemy in the Modern Age. The fifth and final was Daniel West, Iris's brother. He is the new 52 version and the only one to be known exclusively as Reverse Flash. 9. In the CW show The Flash, Barry Allen's father, Henry Allen, is played by John Wesley Shipp, who played Barry Allen in The Flash from 1990. 10. The number 52 appears in every single episode of the first season of The Flash. 11. The Flash's ability to tap into the Speed Force not only enables him to run super fast and for great distances, but it also has other interesting effects on his body. The Speed Force gives the user such additional gifts as superhuman endurance, an accelerated metabolism, and a decelerated aging process, as well as increased reaction speed and enhanced strength. 12. One of the most interesting things that comes from all of this, combined with his super speed is the ability to create the infinite mass punch. It is the most powerful punch of all time and is basically like hitting someone or something with more force than a meteor. If that's not enough, his increased speed and reaction time also gave him the ability to throw up to 1 billion punches per second. When combined, this makes the Flash one of the most formidable and dangerous members of the Justice League. 13. Using his abilities to run at and sometimes beyond the speed of light, the Flash is able to also move through time. Initially used to accomplish this using the cosmic treadmill, which helps guide him through the correct place and time. In the pre-crisis comic books, the treadmill also could transport beings between dimensions to multiple Earths, but it was damaged during the Crisis Story arc. The treadmill requires a great deal of speed to function, turning that speed into vibrations that shift the user through time. No one other than the speedsters in the DC universe can generate enough speed to use it, so it is often seen as an exhibit in the Flash Museum. Now the cosmic treadmill is no longer required for the Flash to make sure he gets to the precise location he's aiming for. Wally West figured out that it wasn't required and he was able to use nothing more than his powers alone to achieve the same effect. 14. The bad guys that called Central City their home first teamed up to defeat the Flash way back in 1965 and have since established themselves as one of the most dangerous supervillain teams in the comics. On their own, the Rogues can at times come off as gimmicky and unthreatening, but the combined efforts of the likes of Captain Cold, Mirror Master and Captain Boomerang have resulted in a highly formidable group of foes, one that's plagued the Flash for years. 15. Speaking of the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne served as the principal antagonist for the groundbreaking 2011 series Flashpoint. The crossover event saw Barry Allen wake up one day to a radically different world, one to where the Flash had never existed. In this reality, Thomas Wayne is Batman, Wonder Woman and Aquaman are at war with one another, and Cyborg is the world's greatest hero. This later revealed that this alternate universe and the apocalyptic threat surrounding it is a result of Barry traveling back in time to save his mother from Thawne. 16. At the conclusion of Flashpoint, the Flash races back in time in order to undo his actions and bring back the reality and life he knew and loved. In doing so, he actually merges together 3 separate existing realities, the world he knew as well as the worlds of Vertigo and Wildstorm comics, to create yet another reality which is then fleshed out in DC's New 52 revamping. 17. The Speed Force not only has applications where it works through a being that is tapped into it, but it can also manifest itself in physical ways. Wally West discovered this when he realized that if he could concentrate hard enough, he could actually create solid constructs that had real-world applications. He often uses the power to create or enhance his supersuit, which is how he stumbled across the power in the first place. He created solid armor that allowed him to run even with 2 broken legs. The Flash has also used this power to seal damage to his suit to prevent infection and disease and to create pockets to hold various items. He is also able to use this power to repair the supersuits of others, altering them so that they are usable by various speedsters. In fact, Wally West's Flash costume is actually a construct that was molded from the Speed Force itself. 18. Grant Gustin, who plays Barry Allen in the 2014 version of The Flash, and John Wesley Shipp, who played Barry Allen in the 1990 version of The Flash, were both born in Norfolk, Virginia. 19. Under normal circumstances, traveling at the speed of light without any sort of protection other than your supersuit would be mighty dangerous. Thankfully, one of the Flash's more obscure powers is the Speed Force Aura, which is created when he is in full speed ahead mode. The aura is a protective barrier that forms around his body and clothes that prevents air friction and airborne particulate matter from affecting him when he's moving at high velocities. 20. Because everything, including all the muscles in the Flash's body and even the speed of his neurons in his brain and nervous system functions on a much faster level than normal, he is able to obtain immense amounts of information very rapidly. Sadly, he is unable to retain the information for long periods of time, as it is only stored in the short-term memory banks of his brain. He usually uses this skill to find a few relevant facts, then shares them with a member of his team who actually remembers the facts. 21. Melissa Benoit, who plays Kara Zor-El or Kara Danvers or Supergirl in Supergirl, starred on the Fox hit show Glee, which is where Grant Gustin, the Flash, got his big start as an enemy to the rival Glee Club New Directions. 22. Both Candice Patton, Iris West, and Chantel Vassenten, Paris Pivot, played in One Tree Hill before their role in The Flash. 23. The influence of the Speed Force also alters the speed at which the Flash's brain processes information to match what is going on with the rest of his body. This means that his brain and thought patterns move at such a rapid rate that he is immune to basic mind reading and mind control. 24. The Flash has control over every part of his body, right down to the molecular level. This makes it easy for him to control various parts of his body at will, often without affecting other parts of his body at the same time. The Flash is able to change the vibration of his vocal cords, altering the tone and register of his voice to mask his real identity. And that's just about it for this video. If you liked it, feel free to smash the like button down below and subscribe for new videos kinda weekly. Also, you can check out my videos on the CW Supergirl using the link provided down below. Thanks for watching, and I will be seeing you in the next video.